Okay, Jane, keep working on it. We're gonna start here. Okay, to start out here, I want to mention an error was made with the MAT dues statements sent out to Norman County townships. A revised dues statement was emailed today along with a copy going out to the in the mail today also. Only send MAT dues to MAT. Now, let's see, to move on, we have an agenda here, and I would look for a motion to accept that agenda. Sandy, can you unmute yourself? No?
But she can just.
I want to be able to hear this. Yeah, go ahead, Sandy. I think you wanted to.
Yes, I second the motion. Or I make the motion.
Make the motion? Is there a second?
Lyle second.
Okay. Lori, did you get that? Sandy, and then Lyle.
Yep.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Tammy.
I do not think this agenda is, we can approve this because we run our meetings according to Robert's Rules of Order. And to be able to limit debate to 5 minutes, that takes a 2/3 vote, according to Robert Rules of Order. So the part of the meeting that's closed, that would not, the only way that can happen is if there's a 2/3 vote to limit debate.
Any other discussion?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. I didn't see any hand either. Sorry, Jane. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm not sure how to even show the hand, being as I can't show the face, but I would agree. I think this is really such a serious matter that I really would be against approving this agenda with only 5 minutes to speak. So, and I know in other certain circumstances, I did a little reading with Robert's rules, and typically it could be allowed where you do have the 10 minutes twice actually per person. So I think that to state 5 minutes is unfairly limiting.
Any other discussion?
Yes. Is this the order that the townships want to be in, or is this an order that we want them to be in?
We just went alphabetically to be just fair, not pick anyone, just make alphabetically. Yep.
So we prepared a different order, and we need to stick with that. We can't have a last minute change like that.
Yeah, it is. No, this is not.
Who was that speaking for NCAT or NCAT?
NCAT.
That's correct.
How was that?
That's correct. Yes.
Right.
He was Bob too.
Oh. Okay. Well, let's see.
He's not a board member.
Yeah, you're not a board member, so not a supervisor. So this is a meeting for the supervisors to speak. And if you have something to say, your supervisor should be representing you.
You're incorrect on that. I object on that. The rules that you gave us said that I could not give this statement, and we're not talking about giving the statement. We're talking about this, pre-hearing stuff.
This is debate among the board. This is not among.
Yeah, this is a board decision.
Then I
object.
Okay.
Joseph.
I'm raising my hand here, Gary.
I'm sorry. You just have to talk. I can't.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Just be careful. Don't talk too much.
All right. Agreed. I guess hearing that, if I would have no objection at all if they have prepared in a different order. What difference does it make to us? Because there was no reason for the selection. It was just a matter of organizing it. And
This director's meeting.
Yeah, this is our meeting, Jane. This is a director's meeting, so we've asked Norman County to come and talk to us, tell us what their feelings are, and we asked the supervisors to do that. And I thank them for their time here. And right now, we have a motion on the floor. We've had discussion, and we will take a vote. And we will go with districts. District 1.
Yes.
2.
Yes.
Keep track with you. 3.
No.
4 is yes. 5.
No.
6.
Yes.
8.
Yes.
9.
No.
10. Jim?
Yeah, no.
I take it that's a no.
Yeah, it was.
And 11,
Yes.
12. 12.
He's working on getting them muted. Wrong one. No, you're still muted.
It isn't working right. No.
We got you now.
He said no.
You said no?
Yes, he did. He said no.
And 13.
Yes.
What do we have?
7-5.
Gary, I would like to say something. Norman County has put together some work on this and with all of their townships, and I think they should be at least respected enough to allow that to happen. But because the board is voting no, at least I want to say, as their district director, that it's disrespectful if we don't allow them.
They will be allowed as the order as our agenda says. Thank you, though, Mel. Then we will go on to.
In the vote for the agenda, didn't that fail?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It passed 7-5.
Yeah, it
And
passed.
see, you needed a 2/3 vote, and said you didn't get a 2/3 vote.
We passed it 7-5. Thank you.
But it took a 2/3.
Mr. Pickle, you're not a member of the board. Please let the board get through its preliminary work.
Okay. Then we are on
Point of
to.
order. Point of order. So I think we need to have it understood what we are doing for the voting. Are we talking? This is again, if we're looking at this meeting having to do with dismissal, our bylaws is a 2/3 vote in order for that to happen. So what are we operating under?
We're operating under this agenda that we have right here. Statute. It's a state statute. You know the number?
Oh, we're not, this board no longer operates under Robert's rules.
You're out of order, Tammy. Excuse me. That was voted down 7-5. Now, in order of the time limit here, and Norman County, we appreciate they've come, and we don't want to use too much of their time. Don't want them to go all night here. We have a few things here that we have some rules for today, and I will give that to Jeff.
All right, thank you. The rules are each town will have 20 minutes to make a statement to the board. Time may not be transferred to another township. If any town wishes to combine its statement with another town, the combined townships will receive 20 minutes for their combined statement. The town can be represented by one of its township supervisors or an attorney. No other officer or individual will be allowed to speak on behalf of any township. The board and MAT staff will not take questions during the hearing. The hearing is provided as a time for the township member to make a statement. Each township's membership will be considered independently of any other township's membership. The MAT board will decide whether a township will be expelled from membership in MAT. The deliberations of the board will be closed. The MAT board will decide the matter of expulsion by a simple majority of all directors per Minnesota Statute 317A.411 and 317A.237. If a township is expelled from membership, the township's MAT dues for the most recent year will be refunded on a prorated monthly basis so that the member pays only for a full months in which the town was a member of MAT.
Objection.
Who did that?
I did.
Well, don't do it again. Thank you.
I can object if I want to.
It's not your meeting.
Let's see. Now the reasons for termination.
Thank you.
Before you go into that, can I ask a couple of questions about the rules?
You didn't understand them?
First of all, I didn't get them from the director or you or anybody else. I got them as a letter to a township that was an attachment from the executive director. Secondly, did the board ever agree on those rules? Thirdly, we have no rules in our bylaws, and if I remember correctly, 317 doesn't really give us rules for conducting an expulsion. Third, we have rules in our bylaws to expel a board director, and yet by a simple majority, we can expel an entire township. And I wrote a letter and sent it to all the board of directors. I did get a couple of responses. I still believe that this is a board decision as to the rules of this kind of a hearing, and we need to very seriously consider what we are doing. This is not something that we're going to do and it will be farted off and forgot about by the rest of the townships in the state. So looking at the well-being of Matt over the long run, I still think that we have to, number one, we should have been the ones that promulgated the rules or at least approved them. We didn't. And number two, I think that we have to make damn sure that we understand what we're doing.
Thank you, Mel. Let's see. Now we are at the reasons for termination.
When we set up this meeting, we did not expect these 5 townships to drag other townships into this matter. We set up the Zoom meeting as a convenience so those township officers did not need to travel to our office. This meeting is going to be much longer to the necessity of offering an explanation to you of why we're here. Is one more example of and reason that their values, these 5 individuals, are inconsistent with the MAT organization. I feel all Norman County Township officers should be made aware of the problems created by Messrs. Pickle, Gorder, Werby, Manthe, and Lee for the MAT organization, its staff, and directors. Unfortunately, many of you do not know what happened over the last 3 years in our interactions and attempts to provide an NCAT board with services. We know you have received letters from Mr. Pickle that make outlandish claims and misrepresent the last several years' events, much of which you have read as fiction. We are here because 5 men made statements that were untrue and harmful to MAT, its staff, and its directors. The NCAT board were informed of the problems and given a solution. They not only refused, they made further offensive statements and actions. Given this history, MAT has no interest in continuing any relationship with these 5 men. Membership in MAT is a privilege, not a right, and their behavior has made it impossible to continue to work with them. Our organization's bylaws provide that townships are the members of the organization, that officers of those townships are considered members. There's currently no way to remove an individual from membership in MAT without removing the township. We will look at options to correct that problem in the future, but we will no longer continue a business relationship with these 5 men. Now, they have claimed an unfairness to their fellow officers in their towns if their towns are removed from MAT membership. They're trying to stand behind 20 people who have not done anything wrong, only to protect themselves. They had a simple and effective means to prevent this expulsion from happening and to prevent their fellow officers from being removed as members. However, they refused. To provide you with some background, several years ago, Mr. Pickle called our offices with some challenges faced by the county unit. Our attorneys immediately advised him that they were very limited in what they could do, but they provided him with some information right away. County units are legally independent entities from MAT, but we value county units. We send our directors to their meetings, we send staff when requested, and we work together in other ways. MAT tried to help NCAT at that time and until early September 22, and up until early September 2022. We spent years working with them. We provided a few options and possible solutions to Mr. Pickle. It is unclear whether those options were communicated to the NCAT board or any of the towns in Norman County. In August 2022, Mr. Pickle's communication to us became disrespectful and confrontational. Our staff personally reached out to each NCAT board member in August 2022 to explain that we would not work with Mr. Pickle on the issue and would talk about the issues that remain for the county unit only with the NCAT board's other 4 members. Rather than continue the conversation with us in September 2022, the NCAT board members signed and sent a document making many untrue and harmful statements about MAT and its staff and directors. These errors were pointed out to them by an attorney for the individuals who were harmed. The NCAT board was asked for proof of their statements and to revoke the document if it was incorrect. They did not have any proof of the claims. They refused to revoke the resolution and stood behind the same document despite its errors. They then tried to have the town officers in Norman County stand behind them in a meeting in the fall of 2022. We are aware that the town officers there did not issue any statement of support to them, nor did they feel they could revoke the document passed by those 5 men. Again, today they are trying to make all of you part of their dispute, but MAT does not have any dispute with any other township in Norman County. In November 2022, I had a conversation with Mr. Gorder about how to resolve this dispute. I told Mr. Gorder that Mr. Pickle rejected Mr. Fenske's solution to form a joint power. As a joint power, NCAT would then be able to get insurance from MAT. Mr. Gorder seemed open to that option. He told me he was excluding Mr. Pickle from our conversation, that Messrs. Gorder, Werpy, Matthew, and Lee did not want to come to blows with MAT. He said the people we represent did not want it to get this far. We just want to resolve this so our county unit can be a government entity so we can get insurance. I did not sign up for Bob to go into this depth. It was obvious that Mr. Gorder regretted signing the resolution, but still refused to apologize. 3 days later, in a meeting between several of our staff and directors in November, 4 of these men admitted they did not know any of the allegations they made were true, but they made them anyways. Even when told the allegations were not true, they refused to revoke their document or apologize until MAT provided them with solutions they liked for the county unit. They then made further offensive statements to individuals on our staff to deflect from their wrongdoing in that meeting. We have tried to resolve their issues through many communications and efforts, but MAT will not continue relationships that are harmful to MAT, staff, and its directors. Given their behavior, we do not believe they have any good faith intent to work with MAT. Mr. Pickle has written numerous emails to myself, staff, and directors. He has written a complaint letter to the Office of Administrative Hearings accusing MAT of election tampering. He has restated accusations that are subject of a current defamation lawsuit against another person. I've written this twice. The false claims of election tampering they made to the OAH were solemnly dismissed by the judge. Only this week he implied that I was involved in violation of state and federal wiretapping laws. None of these things are true. These towns have an opportunity to be heard today. This is not a court. MAT is not a government. This is not an adversarial process in which court motions are made. Witnesses are not called and evidence is not introduced. There is not going to be a debate among the towns and the board, nor are we taking comments from anyone but the supervisors of these 5 townships. The towns were also given the opportunity to submit a written statement. These processes follow the statute that governs the removal of members in a nonprofit organization. We value our relationship with each of our townships, and we hope you do not let the bad actions of these 5 men and the consequences of them undermine our relationship.
Okay, now I see Vanton's hand up, but
I moved that we strike that statement because we weren't provided that in advance.
You are not.
We asked for that. We were not. That's the record.
Supervisors.
That should be strict from the record.
Mr. Pickle, if you continue to unmute yourself and interrupt this meeting, you will be taken off of this meeting. Now that really is going to really goof it up for the rest of the townships that are on that same computer. So, yes, what townships are there? Who are the ones that are there tonight?
What townships are here?
Yeah, yes.
All the townships. So we have Spring Creek, Halstead, Mary, Plum, and Walk On.
Let's have them identify.
Yeah.
Good Hope. Home Lake, Lockhart, Bear Park.
Okay, for each of those, I would like to have the name. I just want to know the 5 townships.
Who's going to be speaking for them?
Yes, who's going to speak for Plum, Halstead, Mary, Spring Creek, and Walk On?
You can find out at the time.
What's that, Mr. Pickle?
I was talking to Aaron.
When our turn is to speak, you'll find out who's speaking for each township.
I would like to know who's speaking before. Are you speaking for your township right now?
Yes, I will be speaking for my township.
And you are which township?
Spring Creek.
I'll accept that. It's out of order, but that's okay. We didn't have.
No.
It's out of the order we had.
I will be speaking.
Go ahead.
No, not now. In order. You asked who would be speaking for the township.
Yeah, he's one of those. Yeah,
That's what you guys voted on.
Okay, well then let's start this. The first one is Flom Township. Who is the speaker for that?
Vance has his
I will
hand
be
up.
starting. According to Matt's Articles of
Your
Incorporation,
name, please.
I will give that to you in a minute.
I want it before you talk.
Wayne Lee.
Thank you.
According to Matt's Articles of Incorporation, membership, eligibility, and obligations must be in the bylaws. Nothing in Matt's indictment indicates that we have violated any eligibility requirements or obligations found in the bylaws. The bylaws contain but 3 requirements. A, payment of dues, B, being a town officer, and C, being a member of a county unit if one exists. The plaintiff's charges against us had nothing specific to respond to. Not one single inaccuracy in the NCAT resolution was quoted or cited. By refusing to give a more definite statement, the plaintiffs have severely prejudiced the defendant's ability to prepare a defense. The plaintiffs failed to participate in discovery and failed to stipulate to an extension of the deadlines to accommodate their failure to participate in discovery. The defendants have thus been extremely prejudiced in preparing their defense and therefore request sanctions against the plaintiffs. On December 29th, you were notified that the notice given to the members to be expelled was defective. We have heard nothing in response since and have all gathered here this evening to give our defense. To be specific, Matt's bylaws specify that every town officer is a voting member of Matt. That being so, Minnesota Statute 317A.411 required every member to receive at least 15 days notice before expulsion and an opportunity to be heard at least 5 days before the date of expulsion. Accordingly, This implies that there be 10 days notice before the opportunity to be heard. We have town officers that do not receive email and that did not receive Matt's notice by mail of the reasons for expulsion until December 28th, 2 days before the opportunity to be heard in writing, 8 days before this hearing, and 13 days before the date of threatened expulsion. So my name is Wayne Lee. Thank you for allowing me to be heard today. As chairman of Mary Township, I object to the pretrial objections, discovery requests, stipulations, motions, and notice not being properly and timely responded to. I object to the MAP executive director intercepting emails sent to MAP board members concerning these pretrial matters. I have been a town officer for nearly 45 years. The other 3 officers of our township have together another 17 years, so for a total of 62 years in township government. I'm also on the board of the Norman County Association of Townships. Because of difficulties in transferring the duties of the NCAT Secretary-Treasurer from one individual to another, we requested assistance from the Minnesota Association of Townships. We requested 3 things. 1, official recognition of county units as members of MAT. 2, guidance on how to properly and legally operate a county unit. And 3, the ability to purchase insurance for county units. We do not feel we received any assistance. The Mary Township Board met on December 16th, 2022, and voted to no longer be affiliated with MAT. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next one is Halstead.
That was Mary. Wayne was from Mary.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wayne's.
I can confirm that he's from Mary.
Yes, Wayne said he was from Mary. Okay, who's next?
Walk on.
Okay.
My name is
Your
Corey.
name, sir? Your name, sir?
My name is Corey Ballin. I thank you for allowing me to be heard today. I'm chairman of Walk-On Township. I've been town officer for nearly 16 years. There are 3 other officers of our township, Patrick Holland, Dylan Sather, Randall Gorder, and all together in March, the 4 of us will have served 49 years in township government. Because of the difficulties in transferring the duties of the Norman County Association of Township Secretary Treasurer from one individual to another, NCAT requested assistance from Minnesota Association of Township. NCAT requested 3 things: official recognition of county units as members of MAT, guidance to how to properly and legally operate the county unit, and the ability to purchase insurance for the county unit. NCAT did not feel that they received any assistance. Walk-On Township Board met on December 20th, 2022, and voted to no longer be affiliated with MAT. Whenever MAT returns to its purpose of serving and assisting townships, let us know. Until then, goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And who is next?
Statement of Flum Township, January 5th. My name is Norman Myers. Thank you for allowing me to be heard today. I am supervisor of Flum Township. The other officers are Todd Manthe, Mike Clemenson, Mike Buckle, and Christina Lean. Altogether, in March, the 5 of us, will have served a total of 56 years in township government. I'm also on the board. No, I'm not. Because of the difficulties in transferring the duties of the NCAT Secretary Treasurer from one individual to another, NCAT request assistance from the Minnesota Association of Townships. We request 3 things: official recognition of county units as members of MET. 2, guidance on how to properly and legally operate township units. And number 3, the ability to purchase insurance for county units. NCAT did not feel we received any assistance. Personally, I would like to know why we can't ask questions and get answers. What are we going to tell our constituents? That we were expelled because we disagreed with MAT? Therefore, whenever MAT returns to its purpose of serving and assisting the townships, let us know. Until then, goodbye.
Thank you very much. And who was next?
Aaron Warpy, Chairman for Spring Creek Township. As Chairman of Spring Creek Township, I object to the partial objections, discovery requests, stipulations, motions, and the notice of not being properly and timely responded to. I object to the MAT Executive Director intercepting emails sent to the MAT board members concerning these particular matters. Thank you for allowing me to be heard today. I am Chairman of Spring Creek and have been a town officer for nearly 13 years. The other 4 officers are David Lehman, Carrie Sipp, Allie Engelstad, and Lisa Anensen. Altogether, in March, the 5 of us have served a total of 27 years in township government. I am also on the board of Norman County Association of Townships. Because of difficulties in transferring the duties of the NCAT Secretary Treasurer from one individual to another, we requested assistance from the Minnesota Association of Townships. We requested 3 things: official recognition of the county units as members of MAT, guidance on how to properly and legally operate a county unit, and 3rd, the ability to purchase insurance for a county unit. We did not feel we received any assistance. The Spring Creek Township Board met on December 27, 2022 and voted no longer to be affiliated with MAT. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And we have one left, Halstead Township.
I will be speaking on behalf of Halstead Township. Aaron Warpy.
Is there someone from Halstead Township there?
Yes, but they do not want to speak.
Could I have their approval, please? Their name and approval, who is putting you in their place?
Well, they're supposed to be come after that. You can do that.
Mr. Pickle, thank you for your advice, but we're talking to the supervisors right now.
And I can talk to them too.
This is Philip Pelleru, Chairman of Halstead Township, and we told him, Mr. Workby, you can take care of it.
Thank you very much.
Philip Killerman.
Okay. All right. Go on.
MAT has imposed upon the proceedings the rules that only supervisors or an attorney can speak. Our understanding is that this arbitrary and unruly rule was never approved by the MAT board at the December 15th board meeting. All of the supervisors of Halstead Township have declined to read this statement. I would like to ask the Halstead Township clerk to be permitted to read this statement and speak, rather than this tribunal force me to read it for them. Would you allow that?
No, the rules say no. Go ahead and read it.
The clerk can read it?
Sure. Oh, wait. You can read it.
Well, ask for a vote. Ask for a vote.
Can I have a vote?
No, we're not voting here. This is, you are to give us your thoughts, and that's what we're doing here today.
Out of all of us, the clerk, Bob Pickle, is the most converse with the facts. By prohibiting him from speaking, you are making it clear that you have something to hide and fear. To fear from what? From whom? Someone who's never finished college? Never got a law degree? Why are you afraid? Matt is being inconsistent. The board of directors sits in judgment today, and yet, in all likelihood, not one of them has a law degree. Judges in the courts must have a law degree. Why permit the board members to be judges if they don't have a law degree? If you will not permit a party to speak if he does not have a law degree, you have said that a supervisor can represent a township in this hearing. But I question whether that could be done in court. A township would likely have to be represented by an attorney. If you are allowing a supervisor without a law degree to represent a township, why would you not allow a clerk without a law degree to do the same? In stark contrast, courts permit an individual to represent himself without being an attorney. Sure, self-represented parties can be a pain, but in a legal system, they must be respected nonetheless. An individual in a court proceeding can speak on his own behalf with an attorney if he so chooses. You say the Pledge of Allegiance at the end of these words, with liberty and justice for all. It doesn't say with liberty and justice for all attorneys. It doesn't say with liberty and justice for all the rich who can't afford attorneys. It says with liberty and justice for all. That's the American way. And so I ask you to permit Bob Pickle to read the statement for Halstead Township and to speak. Or else I will read their statement for them.
And you can read it for them, please?
That's perfect.
But let it be known that if you do not permit him to speak as a voting member of the Matt-faced, with the threat of expulsion, in all likelihood, the Minnesota Attorney General's office will be notified that you have again violated Minnesota State Statute 317A 411 by not ensuring that these proceedings are fair, reasonably, and carried out in good faith, and by not ensuring that every member threatened with expulsion has the opportunity to be heard.
Is that it?
No.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
As the supervisor reading the statement for Halstead Township, I object to the partial objections, discovery requests, stipulations, motions, and notice not being properly and timely responded to. I object to the Matt Executive Director intercepting emails sent to Matt board members concerning these partial pretrial matters. Thank you for allowing Halstead Township to be heard. The 5 officers of Halstead Township are Phil Pellerud, Garrett Christensen, Greg Schilling, Bob Pickle, and Todd Walcott. although in March, these 5 town officers will have served a total of 54 years in township government. Because of the difficulties in transferring the duties of the Norman County Association of Township Secretary-Treasurer from one individual to another, NCAT requested assistance from the Minnesota Association of Townships, NCAT. Requested 3 things. 1, official recognition of county units as a member of MAT. 2, the guidance on how to properly and legally operate as a county unit. And 3, the ability to purchase insurance and county units. NCAT did not feel it received any assistance. The Halsted Township Board met on December 27th, 2022, and voted no longer to be affiliated with MAT. Whenever MAT returns to its purpose of serving and assisting the townships, let Halsted Town Board know. Until then, goodbye and thank you.
Okay, well, that concludes all townships. I think their time was. They're all in their time. Yep, we're all in the time. So, so we will take our break now, and we will resume our board meeting in 10 minutes. Vance, we will talk at the board meeting. Thank you.
This is